I don't know, just that, I mean, I have the same kind of thing with red licorice. And Deborah said that about me, like, I want to eat, I have one, I want to eat like 10. But, so I don't know if that's different than the mints.
Okay, but is that always the case, or is it only the case when you have this nervous thing going on? So, for example, have you had one yet today? While you've been here?
Thing? No, I don't care.
No, the licorice.
Oh, licorice? I don't know, I don't have any.
Like if you had, like if it was.
If there was a bag.
If it was there, would you have to have it?
I wouldn't have to, I probably would
But if you had
choose
one,
not
you
to. I'd want to have more. If I had one, I'd want more.
You'd have
But if I didn't have any, I'd be fine.
Is that true of pretty much anything like that?
potato chips.
More true than not true, yeah.
Okay, as long as you don't have one,
I do better.
you don't have to have two.
Yeah.
Right. One of the other things to notice for those of you who are watching, notice the leg activity. Okay? Okay, now this is an indicator that it may not be, that this repetitive behavior may be a way of dispelling nervous energy, of dealing with nervous energy.
Yeah, because I can think of a time with the red licorice that it was interesting. And I won't do the whole thing. It was a very sad situation, and we were talking about how we were dealing with the sad thing as we're driving to the sad place. And I said something about eating all this red licorice, and I realized it was a nervous thing to deal with grief at that point.
Okay. And of course, that's why we have the whole candy and cookie industry. Is that but one of the things about the candy and cookie industry is that the pleasure that we get from that goes all the way back into childhood. And so this one of the things, you know, I'm not a psychotherapist, so I won't pretend to be one, but I'm wondering about childhood candy associations.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
So who gave you peppermint lifesavers?
Well, it wasn't that though. I think it might be sugar. I wonder if it's sugar. Because I tend to have the sugary things, like, and when I think about red licorice is sugary, my mom would use food or ice cream, that kind of stuff.
Okay. And you were using the red licorice at a time you were dealing with a sad event. And your mom gave you sweet things and so on. Well, you know, most of our parents gave us sweet things from time to time. My parents were a little bit weird, though, because they brought me up to think of fruit as dessert. You know, so they gave me fruit, you know. Finish your peas or you can't have your apricots.
Or chocolate. We did, went to the store every night and bought each one of us our own special candy bar.
Now, what we're going to do, even though it's not quite what we thought we were going to do with the compulsion blowout, is also some modality, because we're going to do a little timeline stuff. And you already have a well-identified timeline, right?
Yep.
Okay, now, yep, she says, is that associated in or is that dissociated? Okay, you got the timeline. Now, what I want you to do is to think about your past timeline and allow your unconscious mind to go back through time and find all those little markers way back from childhood all the way up to the present moment. And your unconscious mind can do this really quickly, where you used sugar to provide comfort for something that was upsetting for you. And just kind of color code those in a particular color. What color comes to mind?
Red.
Red. All right, so we're going to color code all the way back, maybe even pre-verbal, back when you would cry and your mother would give you something sweet, even before you could ask for sweets by name. Right? Bring them all up. Has your unconscious mind managed to do that yet? Okay. Now, have you established a place in your mind where you put learnings? Okay, well, just create a place in your mind. Some people have a closet, some people have a safe, some people have file cabinets. Doesn't make any difference. Your unconscious mind will show you what it wants.
Okay.
I want you to now let your unconscious mind sort through all those little red modules on your timeline and extract the learning, put them in the place you've created, so that you can understand how you can cope with different kinds of difficult circumstances, whether it's a funeral or whether it's things that happen at work and so on, without eating sugar. Because all those things taught you something. Because sugar allows you to think about things in a new way. And now that you have that new thinking established, you can do that new kind of thinking without the reliance on the sugar. And let your unconscious mind now go all the way back to the earliest time and start popping those red-colored modules off at the same speed that you're extracting the learning. This can all happen below your level of conscious awareness, and it can happen very quickly as you extract the learning from those events, knowing that you have strategies that are much more effective than jacking up your sugar intake, rotting your teeth, pumping up your cholesterol.
Okay.
Okay? And let me know when your unconscious mind has done that.
All the stuff in the past.
Just so keep that vision of your timeline and watch as those red modules just pop off until you're all the way up to the present time.
Okay.
Okay, now the other thing we're going to do is future pace. You know about future pacing. I'm going to run a marathon one of these days, huh?
In October.
Okay. Where?
San Francisco.
No.
Lots of bridges.
No Shisa.
What'd you say?
No Shisa.
No Shisa, what's that mean?
No shit.
Oh.
Anybody here speak German?
A little bit. I know how to say French.
The French have a number of words. Merde is the most common. And that's a gentle word in French. You can say merde in polite society. Now, so what we're going to do now is pick a time out in the future, maybe like 10 years from now. And I want you to go out on your timeline to that point 10 years from now. And turn around inside your mind and look back at the present time. And then look at yourself as you progress from now until that 10-year point in the future. Knowing what you know now about strategies for coping with sadness, with what should we call them at work, conundrums? Is that a good enough word?
That's a good one, yeah.
Can anybody spell conundrum? And all the way out there, and notice how your coping strategies change along the way as you become increasingly self-confident, increasingly wise, increasingly mature, until they're all the way out there 10 years from now, knowing everything that you have learned between now and then. And then once again, turn around inside your mind and bring all of that learning back to the present moment. And ask yourself how it feels now. Do a breath mint when someone says, boy, do you need a breath mint? And not needing 10.
Yeah, I can just feel a different shift inside. Right. Inside my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.